Hi guys, welcome to another coaster review. This is of a very well-known B&M Hyper. This is Intimidator at Carowinds. So I'm going to be reviewing this coaster, but first let's start with the stats. This coaster opened on March 27th of 2010. Built by B&M, has a length of 5,316 feet, so it's over a mile long. Has a height of 232 feet, drop of 211 feet, speed of 75 miles per hour, does not go upside down. Has a steepness of 74 degrees, and a duration of 3 minutes 33 seconds, which is a pretty long ride. And a G-force of 4.3, so not bad stats at all. And this coaster is pretty much overlooked as one of the weakest B&M Hypers, or it's pretty much middle of the road. Most people think this is one of the weakest, or most people thinks it's around like the middle of the road. I gotta say, I've ridden 4 of these B&M Hypers, and I gotta say, of the 4, I put this at number 3. Now, this coaster is actually pretty incredible. When I think of Intimidator, I think of floater airtime. I think this coaster is the king of floater air. I think this coaster probably has the best floater air of any coaster. I think this really meant to make you feel like you're floating out of your seat, and it achieves that. That's what I say all the time when I mention Intimidator. When I rode it, I found it to be pretty smooth as well. No, I was expecting it to be glossy smooth, but when I rode it, I didn't find it to be like glossy smooth. I found it to have a slight rattle. But I mean, I rode it in 2016, so I'm not sure how smooth it is now in 2018. But I was pretty impressed overall with Intimidator. Now, a lot of people do criticize this ride for its trims. That's one thing that a lot of people just do not like about Intimidator. When I rode it, I don't think I felt any trims when I rode Intimidator. And I mostly rode towards the back, which you get some good whip over, and you actually get some really good whip if you're in the back. So, yeah, I'll give that a shout out. But yeah, I thought the trims didn't really ruin the ride that much. And one thing I'll mention is that I really like the seating arrangement for this coaster. It's basically like a stadium seating. I think it's pretty cool. I love how some people are outside and some people are in the middle. I think it's a really interesting layout, seat arrangement. I think it's pretty cool. And now the pacing on this could have been a bit better. The pacing was alright. Of all the B&M Hypers, it probably has the weakest pacing, in my opinion. Now, it's not to say that the pacing's bad. It's not bad pacing. It's just not as good as some of the other B&M Hypers with better pacing. So let's get into the ride. So you enter into the plaza, and this is a pretty nice plaza. Around that, you've got this coaster is themed to Dale Earnhardt. You've got his NASCAR, you've got his car, NASCAR car, something like that. And then you've got his signature, and there's a little billboard of Dale Earnhardt as well. And then you get into the queue line, then you enter the car. And then one thing I think is pretty cool, right as you exit the station, right before you exit the station, it'll say, "Gentlemen, start your engines." Now, it could have been a little bit better. It could have been the one that's used in Intimidator 305. The one in Carowinds was "Gentlemen, start your engines." It was like that. The one in King's Dominion is "Gentlemen, start your engines." Something like that, I think. I have not ridden Intimidator 305 yet, so once I get to ride it one day, I'll definitely talk about that. But I just think that's pretty interesting. I thought it was cool. Definitely added to the experience. So then you go up the lift hill. It's a really nice lift hill. And then you go down that 211-foot drop. And one thing that I'll mention, though, at the bottom of the first drop, I rode this coaster about 3 times when I was at Carowinds, and each time I rode it, I grayed out at the bottom of the first drop. I was told this ride's pretty forceless, but I was kind of surprised when I grayed out at the bottom of the first drop. So this coaster pulls some forces, believe it or not. That's where you hit that G-force of 4.3, I'm pretty sure. And then you go up a nice airtime hill, getting some nice floater, go down towards the right, and then you go to your first main airtime hill. It's trimmed, but you get some nice floater air. And then you go into this little turnaround section, which I thought was a nice little section. I thought was pretty cool. Nice turn, and then afterwards you go to another airtime hill. It's trimmed, which sucks, but I mean, you get some good airtime, and then you go up another hill, which is not trimmed, and then you into your mid-course brake run, and then you exit the mid-course brake run, and then you fly through a nice little helix, which it could have been a little more forceful. But I mean, this coaster is not exactly supposed to be forceful. It's more about the airtime and not about the forces. And then you go up a little airtime hill into your final brake run, ending your Intimidator experience. So overall, what do I think of Intimidator? I think this is a great B&M Hyper. Is it, like, now of the B&M Hypers, I do think this is better than Apollo's Chariot at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, but I wouldn't say it's quite as good as Goliath at Six Flags Over Georgia or Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. That's just my opinion. But I definitely think this coaster is the king of floater air. So what am I going to give it for its final score? Intimidator will be receiving a 9.5 out of 10. Not bad at all. And I think it deserves that score. Now some people will be like, Zach, you are insane. A 9.5? Seriously? What I view Intimidator as is just, it's really the king of floater air. That's what I think of Intimidator. Is that, like, no B&M Hyper has floater air like Intimidator. You really do feel like you're floating out of the air. And it achieves that more than any other coaster. And honestly, it could receive a 10 if the trims weren't there. But I mean, it's a great ride experience, and I think it's the second best coaster at Carowinds, just behind Fury 325, which is my number one coaster. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time. So that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment down below. What's your opinion on Intimidator? Do you agree with me? Do you not? Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos in the future. Also, don't forget to check out social media link, which will be in the description below. I will see you guys next time. Have a theme-tacular day.